One of Robbie's drafting tasks would occasionally be to help clean up the yard post storms when a lot of branches would fall down. But I wanted to show this video especially because this is the wrong harness for draft work. And I didn't know that initially. But the reason it's the wrong harness for draft work is because the strap cuts across his chest, and it actually is restricting his ability to move his front end, which is also restricting his ability to pull efficiently and is causing extra strain on his shoulders without me realizing it. Now, this task by itself, had I been using the correct harness, is extremely beneficial for me. Cleaning up the yard after storms is something that helps my husband because it makes it easier for him to mow the lawn. And it is something that, those little branches, I can pick those up. And so having Robbie gather all of these into, this was our very first pull rig for him. It was one of those firewood carriers for bringing in a few pieces of wood into the house at a time. My husband added PVC to it to make it more rigid and to add shafts to it that we then tied to this black harness. And it was a way that it was a way that Robbie helped me clean up the yard and also helped me bring in firewood for probably about a year before we realized this was the wrong harness to be using with him. He was still able to help with this task, and this is a task that I do recommend to people for picking up sticks in the yard or other yard clutter. I've got a carabiner here that I can loop the two handles together, and it wasn't perfect. Things would occasionally fall out the side, but it did work for the most part. And you can see my gloves are underneath the handle on the black harness so that if I needed gloves to pick up something, they were ready to go. But you see how he's taking kind of really short, choppy, upright steps? That is because of how the harness is restricting the movement of his front legs. Now, this particular rig did also cause its own friction against the grass and against the concrete because it was swayed. So that's partially what's going on as well, but his primary problem here is the harness. So you can use a harness like this, but your dog's going to have a harder time doing draft work, and it might cause damage to their shoulders over long periods of time, especially if they're doing a lot of pulling or a lot of draft work with this.